What's up, mi gente? Welcome to another episode of Night Riders Podcast, where we give you that 401 and all this crazy nonsense. And really, my last couple episodes, I've really been telling more scam stories. That's usually my thing now. Been telling scam stories going around about all these people and stuff. And I got something going on today. Did some research on some stuff that I found. Before I get started, I do want to give a quick update on the Hawk Tuah girl. I did watch her episode, like I mentioned last episode, that I was going to watch, so we could get her side of the story and see what went down and how she got involved in that Bitcoin, that currency scam that she got going. So when I watched, I was kind of a little more disappointed. I thought it was more of her getting pressured or something. I don't know. She kind of made it seem like she was just not really, like it didn't take much to convince her to do it, from what I took, right? So what she had mentioned was the fact that they came up to her with this idea, and they brought it up, telling her this is going to be a good thing going for her upcoming career that she had going on. And they told her this, they filled her head with all these kinds of stuff. And what got me was the fact that she said they did this, and then literally 5 minutes later in her conversation, she had mentioned that, oh yeah, it wasn't hard. They just came, told me this, and then it was okay. She was just like, okay. She didn't do no research of this. She didn't ask, because usually I think people with that type of high fame and stuff, I usually figure they have a lawyer or guidance, financial guidance, someone that let them know, okay, read over paperwork and stuff and say, you know what, this is going to help you out, or no, don't do this, it's not good for you. Someone to give her advice. No, she didn't do that. She just said, oh, okay, cool, let's do it. And that was it. And so I was just like, hey, you know what? And the fact that I thought that she had what I saw last month is I thought she had just come out and was starting to bring back. This video was back in March or April of this year, but it was back a couple months ago. So I was like, what the heck? So obviously this was not something more new. This is just, and I guess she just keeps trying, but when something like that happens, it's just hard to kind of, well, when I ever saw that, for me, it was kind of hard to accept that, you know what, this is an innocent attack. But I don't know. It's just, I figured she should have done better research. Like me, myself, I'm about to start renting out Bounce House. I just bought my first one. But before I got pictures of ready to post. But before I did that, I was like, man, you know what? Let me look into it to see and make sure if I'm doing it right, or let me get into see what I might miss. That way, if I do ever come to a problem, I already know the answers to the solution. Come to find out, I need insurance on this stuff. And so I was like, oh my God, you need other stuff. And I was just like, man, but the insurance one is that got me, because I know insurance already is high as heck. So I'm going to start getting some quotes. But if it's kind of high, then I'm just use it for right now for personal stuff until I can feel like I can afford the insurance. Then I'll start getting into it and all that. But if you're going to do something, always make sure you dig into, get some resources, dig in, do some checking before you just hop in and stuff. Because that's another way that these people get you, man. If you aren't doing research, nothing, you don't know your stuff. You come in green and you already don't know nothing. That's another way they could get you. So we just gotta watch out and all that for these people, man. And don't believe people who come knocking on your door, which I'm gonna get into that later if I get time to. But I'm gonna talk about some people that come knocking your door, offer you life insurance, car insurance, any type of insurance or any other thing, or even selling meat. I know my mom a couple years ago, they came to her door and they were knocking, and they were saying they were selling some kind of beef, which I never really knew that they could do that. I thought it was weird, but they were telling her that they can get her some kind of steaks, the high-end steaks for a cheap price and stuff. And so when she told me that, she right away knew this ain't right. You just can't come around unless it was a school thing. I know we did that fundraisers for schools and stuff, and they will tell us, hey, you could pay for it now, but it won't get here till maybe a month later. And so that was fine because I mean it was a school thing, but just some random people come and show her some that they're selling all kinds of different steaks and stuff, and they won't get here a month or two later. It's like, nah, bro, I may be wrong enough, but I respect their hustle, but I'm just I'm not gonna buy anything when I can just go to the store and get it. Yes, it may be a little more expensive, but I could get it right then and there. I don't have to wait a month and stuff. So we just gotta watch out and all that. So let's get started, man. So on my first topic, really, it's another futuristic thing coming. It's about Bill Gates. He announced that he's gonna be able to end smartphones. He found a way that he can get rid of smartphones, and it's gonna be another type of device where we can get pictures, messages, and calls and stuff. What it is going to be an electronic tattoo. So what he wants is what he's trying, I'm guessing, working on is where we'll get tattoos tatted on us, and somehow it's going to be a way for us to start making calls, FaceTime calls, text messages, all the stuff that we'll do with our smartphones. He's going to be able to do with those tattoos. When I read that, I right away thought Total Recall, the new one, not the old one, the new one. So I was like, wow, what the heck? At first, I was like, okay, that's pretty cool stuff. But then, I don't know how y'all feel about Bill Gates, but me, Bill Gates, one, he's a supporter in population control. He's a supporter in vaccines and stuff, where it may hurt like this. I think I did a little small research, not enough, but I think he had something to do with the COVID-19 flu, and somehow, some people were dying off of those shots. Some people were dying. It was crazy back in 2020. But my thing is, like, he's a big supporter of stuff that kind of is bad for us. Like I said, population control and all that. So I don't know I don't know how y'all feel about Bill Gates, but me knowing Bill Gates, I wouldn't go with that. But I mean, if he's trying to find a way to get rid of smartphones, that's his thing. It's like I said, America's a corporation world. It's always what's the next big thing, and this obviously is going to be a big thing if he finds a way to get this stuff. But let's break it down. I feel like this has to do something with the RDFI chips, those smart chips that they were trying back in 2020 to implant with us, where you can buy groceries and all that again with just the palm of your hand. In the religious way, that's the mark of the beast. If you're very religious, it's the mark of the beast. In the scientific way, it's the next evolution, next modern evolution. Whatever you may believe, it's up to you. But so I feel like that's what he's trying to push is where we have these chips in us, and there's tattoos combined because I was just reading on my way up here, the chips, you can use it to make payment, do a payment plan, make payments, what was it? It was a lot of stuff that you could do with that chip besides just grocery shopping and gas. I think you could purchase gas and stuff, besides your little daily living. But so I'm thinking that's what they're trying to do is push this. Now, the chips, to me, when I first heard about it, it was a way of them invading our privacy. The reason I said it because this chip has, what they won't tell us is this chip has that little navigation system in our cell phones. They'll be able to know exactly where we're at all times and stuff. They already do that with their phones, but if you turn your GPS, then you're off the map. But anyways, I feel like that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get into our privacy. They're trying to invade everything, find out what we're doing all in our daily lives. If if I want to do this business, they'll probably already know. They'll send whatever insurance or whatever they can find off of me to get off of me. It's just another way to get money and all that. But so we got to really kind of pay attention to what's going on. It may be, like I said, it may be cool having these tattoos that light up and show you stuff, but at the same time, And then price wise, how much is this going to cost us? Because smartphones are already expensive. Smartphones are already $600 to $1,000. I remember when refrigerators cost that price, as smartphones were just $50 to $100. But now it's gone that much, and refrigerators are up to $2,000. So it's like they just keep raising everything up on us. So we gotta just pay attention to all this stuff and just be aware of what's going on. Because I try to find when they release this article, they released it on that little news article. I'll be checking where I get all kinds of news and stuff, and then when I try to look for it again, it wasn't popping up no more. It's like they deleted it right away. So it's like, okay, what's going on here? And when I did a little research of see how much Bill Gates is involved with population control and all this, I went on Google. I don't know what else people may use and stuff, but I use Google for pretty much search for everything. But it right away said Bill Gates is not trying to. It's a false conspiracy of him trying to do population control stuff. So that right away lets me know that I know Bill Gates is connected to somebody. I was just listening to the radio on my way up here, and they had mentioned that Bill Gates went out to lunch or dinner this past weekend with the president and some other high people. So I'm like, this dude's connected somehow. So it's obvious they're trying to protect, their high investors. Because Bill Gates is one of the richest men in the world. So they're obviously trying to protect these people just because they have the money to back them up, or for them to, like I said, be connected and stuff. So we just gotta be careful, man. We just gotta watch out for all these people and stuff. So this next topic that I'm talking about, and it's really more, hopefully it touches more people. It's really more aware, like I was just talking earlier about Haley. It's more aware of people who come to you and trying to sell you stuff. So this past week, we had a tragedy. I'm not going to talk about the tragedy that happened, but there was a tragedy that happened, and we showed our support and love to the family. But what got me kind of aggravated was that, when when a past one passes away, most of the time people are doing these fundraisers, a GoFundMe, or they're out selling food, doing whatever they can to raise money to pay for these high expenses that they're about to pay. This family thought that they were fine. They had they were paying for life insurance, and they thought that they were going to be, fine. That they weren't going to have to do any fundraising, right? So come to find out, when they were getting all the paperwork, getting everything ready, come to find out their life insurance didn't cover much. They mentioned that they only covered maybe $12,000, which is not a lot, really. Not much at all. I think that's only the casket, but I don't know. But anyways, when I was told that, I was just like, wow, that's freaking crazy. But then I got to thinking, I was like, man, I know probably who did it, not trying to put fingers and stuff, but it came to me. That happened to us, to my mom, right before COVID hit. That happened to us, where they came to us, and some people came to us, tried to tell us life. They were wanting to sell. So they sold my mom. They tried to sell me, but something happened where I wasn't approved or stuff by them. So I just went to State Farm and got my own life insurance with them. But they approved my mom for a life insurance and a policy where even if she was sick and in bed, that she could pull out her money and pay all the expenses and stuff, so we wouldn't have to do it. And that was the policy that she had. Then a couple weeks later, or a couple months later, I think maybe close to a year later, those same people came again and they told her, hey, we want to upgrade your policy. We found this new policy. It's going to be cheaper. Before I get into, if anybody follows Patrick Bet David, the CEO founder of PHP, People Helping People, can y'all please tag him? This is really about his business and stuff, because I see all his videos. He's out there talking about how he's a millionaire and he worked hard for all this. But what he won't mention, I don't know if it's him, but people that work for him, because there's people that work under his company that did this to my mom. What he fails to mention is how they scam us and stuff. They scam my mom. That's what he won't mention to everybody and then online and stuff. So if y'all follow him, let him know. I would like for him to reach out to me and see if we could. I'm not trying to attack him, but I want him to be aware that he has people under his company who are out there just scamming people and stuff. So yeah, tag him. Thank you. Back to the story. So they came up to her and they told her that they found a policy where it's cheaper and all that, and that she will pay way less, and she was gonna be have more money in her policy, double the amount from the first one, and that she was gonna be, if she even had a small sickness where she had to be in the bed in the hospital, everything was gonna be covered. And so, my mom was like, okay, cool. That's, if it's cheaper and I get these better benefits, I'm all for it. Let's go to it. So she signs and all this, they do the regular stuff, like, because you have to go through, you have to call, they do medical exams and all that. Come to find out, after everything, that, well, we didn't find out right away. We found out maybe 3-4 months later. She had got 2 bills in the mail, and I looked at them, and I was like, Mom, you paying for 2 life insurance? And she looked at me like, are you sure? Like, no, I was told that I was going to only be paying for 1. And I was like, no, you have 2 life insurance that they're taking, and both of them are over $100. And obviously, if y'all have watched my previous episodes, I have mentioned my mom. She don't work for a business or anything. She self-employed, but she cleans houses, and she doesn't make that very much money. She only makes maybe from 80 to 150 right there. That's a daily. She cleans different houses every day. But anyways, that's, in this type of world we're living, is not much at all. But anyways, so once I told her that, she just like, what? She freaked out because she was told that it was supposed to be cheaper. It was supposed to be 1 payment, really, and cheaper. And she was going to be, and I was like, no, this policy is not telling you all this. I was like, just go to the bank and talk to them, see what they can do, and see what we can find out afterwards. She did. She went the next day, went in and talked to them, and they told her, yeah, this insurances have been taking money, I want to say close to $200 every month for the past 6 months. And so she was like, what the heck? Like, no, they did not tell me that. They literally told me it was supposed to be, I want to say $60 to $80 around there, 1 policy, So what the bank did, they called, I think they set up a meeting or something with one of the insurance, and they said upon my mom's request that they wanted to cancel, and it was almost, I want to say like a fraud, but I don't know I wouldn't put it that way, but they mentioned that she was lied to, and so luckily the insurance, I guess the management at that time was pretty cool about it, and they gave everything they took from my mom. They returned all that money back to her. The policy was canceled, and they had mentioned that, I guess they had mentioned to her what they signed up for, the real benefits that she had got, and it was completely different from what she was told. So she canceled that policy. I think she went and canceled the other policy, and she went to State Farm as well, and we got a policy from there. So, you just got to watch out for these people, So obviously after that, I don't know how y'all feel, but once you do something to me, you can do whatever you want to me. You can talk about me, whatever. It don't matter to me. But once there's 3 women that won't allow you to touch: my mom, my wife, and my daughter. Those are the main ones. Once you do something to them, I'm sorry. I can't forgive you. I'm putting you on my list of, don't talk to no more and all that. Because those same people that did that to my mom, they try to reach out to me. I'm assuming they found out I have a daughter. Obviously, they're thinking that I don't have a life insurance on her. So what they want to do is throw a life insurance on my daughter. Really, what they want to do is upsell me a life insurance. That's what they're trying to do. And I already know it because I've also, like I mentioned about the tragedy earlier, it's not the first time I heard that. It's been, like I said, this happened before COVID. So this was 6 years ago, I want to say. So obviously, from that time, I've heard stories around these people, around PHP, and which is weird because PHP stands for people helping people, and they're not out there helping people. They're out there scamming people on buying life insurance and stuff. So if somebody comes to your door and saying, I have a life insurance policy that we can sell you, first thing you got to do is ask them for a license. If they can show you a license, maybe they legit, maybe. But I started researching of what the things to do when people like that come to you. Ask for a license, what company and all. Really try to get all kinds of information out of them as much as possible. Because if they just come and say, "Hey, I'm selling a life insurance, it's cheaper than what you're paying for right now," that red right there is, I think now is like a red flag. It's a scam right away. All they're trying to do is upsell. I mean, I understand that people need to make money, but you always do it the right way, man. Don't ever try to scam people out here when everybody's out there working hard for their money. So if you're out here scamming people and stuff, I'm not trying to say I hope bad things happen to you. I'm not that type of, guy, but I hope you just feel bad for what you're doing out there, because, I mean, Discount Tire, they're not trying to scam, but they want to upsell us some tires too, but that's what they're getting commission. I'm guessing that's what they want is their commission, but you can't be, hey, buy this, or buy this that quick, man. You got to be patient. If I would have sold a home, if I was into real estate and I wanted to sell a home, but the home is taking me maybe a month or two and I'm just getting desperate, I just can't say, you know what, I'm gonna sell you this house at this price, real cheap, everything cheap, and just to get them to sign. Once they sign, it's a whole total opposite payments, $2,000 or more. Their finance is way higher than what I told them. I can't do that to the people. I mean, that's just me, but you got to think that's just wrong, man. You can't be upselling people like that. So let's be careful out there, man. Watch out for like I said, these life insurance scammers and stuff. And I said, if I follow Patrick, send it to him. I would like for him to reach out to me. But I did send him a message on Messenger. But obviously he probably didn't even look at it, didn't even open it. I'm sure I'm not the only one that this has happened to, or my family. Like I mentioned, there's other stories out there. So I'm sure a lot of people are out there. And because another thing that happened right before Kobe passed away, he did have Kobe set up I don't know if it was a podcast at that time or just a little small video meeting, or I don't know, but all the people that he had working for them, they all went. That was the crowd, really, was Patrick's employees, but I'm guessing he told Kobe it was fans and stuff. But I mean, there were probably fans and stuff, but they all sat there. They all took pictures after that. They all took pictures with him and stuff. And when Kobe passed away, all these people that work for PHP, they all posted it, rest in peace, and sorry, my condolences to the Kobe, the Bryant family and all that. To me, it's just you using people who worked hard for your own publicity, I just felt that way. And so I think you just can't do it, I mean, some people can, but it's just, I feel like it's just wrong, it's just wrong to use other people's own hard work and earned for your own publicity to grow up faster and stuff. It's like me, if I wanted to get someone famous and I just use that person so I can get more views and stuff, like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to come in to the studio at the Free Podcast Center, come up here. If you want to do a podcast, come up here. And I'll come up here and just, continue working. Mike, the producer, he's a very good guy. He's going to help you out. He gives you some tips and stuff. He's helped me out get better at my speech here because, like, the last episode we went through, man, me and my wife were so embarrassed because I kept saying almost every second. It was so embarrassing, but he helps out. He gives you helpful tips and stuff. So just come up here and just go to work, man. That's all it is. It's just go and put in that work. Even Kobe, before he passed away, that's what he mentioned. Just go in, put that work. Don't worry about what people are going to say about you or anything. Just go in, put that work. And that's all you got to do. And if Patrick would have done that, and if he would follow that and have his people saying, just go and do your best, don't upsell or anything, don't try to scam people or do wrong on people, and you'll be all right. That's all he really had to do. But, I just feel, that's enough is enough, man. You can't just come out here and just be doing this to other people, like I said, when they're working very hard for their own money. So, like, tag them, and if you guys watched this far, man, thank you guys. Thank you guys for following. Thank you for watching this whole episode, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Hopefully, we'll get a little more updates and stuff, and we'll see what happens. Thank you guys.